So my sleep schedule is finally freaking fixed. Can you believe it? I fixed it because last night I went to my friend's house and I just spent the whole day there. So instead of sleeping, I was watching Love is Blind. So I came back home and I had dinner and I went to sleep. And now it is like what, 9? Like 10? And I'm awake. And I've been awake for a couple of hours. I'm feeling pretty good. That's awesome. So, things politically in the US haven't been all that great. And it's kind of gotten me thinking a lot about like religion and principles. I'm not a super religious or spiritual person anymore, especially not spiritual. I'm not super into like zodiac signs and stuff, at least not seriously, or any other kind of concept like that. But I used to be a very religious person. And I think the problem I have with religion, there's actually quite a few problems. One, I just don't really feel like I have the personality for it. I struggle to do things consistently, and I feel like religion is all about consistency, especially Catholicism. You have a lot of rituals, you have a lot of things that you have to do over and over and over again. It's very obsessive, and as somebody who struggled with religious OCD, it's not fun having to do that stuff because it's kind of triggering for me. So I don't really feel like I have the personality for it in general. But the other problem I have is principles, okay? So principles are just things that you live by, right? Words you live by, values that you live by, and your actions should match your principles, right? Because it's good for your community, it's good for yourself, and it's good for your confidence and your mental well-being. If you feel guilty or sad, it's because your actions are not matching up with your principles. I think a lot of religious people want to believe that they have good, solid principles, which makes sense since the Bible is full of lots and lots of principles. It's full of things to live by. But I think the problem is that sometimes it can feel contradictory. Sometimes the principles, it can feel like in order to be a good person in your religion, you have to violate your own principles. I think a great example of that is being a judgmental person, right? I think a big principle in Christianity is to not judge people. Don't hate people, don't judge people. But I think the problem with that, though, is that there are a lot of sins in the Bible. And the problem with God as a concept is that there's no tangible way to interact with him. At least not in a real feeling way, right? It's not like God is literally coming down from the heavens and talking to us and punishing people and smiting people. So as a result, people commit sins all the time and they don't face any kind of immediate punishment. So how do you know if your principles actually make sense if there's no negative consequences for people violating those principles? Well, you have to have social enforcement. You have to have people, not God, but human beings in charge of enforcing the rule of God, right? And that's why you have all of these religions where people get shunned out of their communities, people getting disowned, right? It's because without doing that stuff, it kind of feels like these principles don't really matter, right? Because there's no immediate consequence. And I think when you really think about that, if the things that bother you don't have a super tangible negative consequence, it's probably because they're not actually a negative thing, right? So I kind of think about it kind of like a school, right? In school, you have really, really important rules like no violence. You can't bring a gun or a knife to school. You can't beat people up or you'll get in trouble, right? And then those things have immediate consequences. If somebody beats you up, you're going to be in physical pain. So it's a really important rule to enforce. If somebody steals your lunch money, you're not going to have food and you're going to be hungry. That's an immediate consequence. But then there are things that are just kind of stupid, like dress code stuff. Like if a girl shows up to school and her skirt is just a little bit shorter, really what's going to happen? Nothing, right? Like nothing's going to happen. So going out of your way to like enforce something like that kind of feels overly judgmental and absurd. I just realized I didn't resume recording, so I was talking for like a whole 5 minutes and wasn't recording anything. Basically what I was trying to say is that like people in religion are more judgmental of things that are not important because those things that are not important don't have tangible consequences because there's no proof of any of this stuff. Okay. And I think that that's the problem with religion. I think the problem with religion is that people want to see justice. They want to see people get punished immediately. So people feel the need to hyperfixate on stuff that doesn't matter, right? I mean, we're living in a world where people are getting killed. There's war, there's violence, there's destruction, and people are hyperfixating right now on pronouns. People are hyperfixating on furries. People are hyperfixating on I saw a video of a Republican getting angry because people were twerking at Pride. Just dumb stuff that really doesn't matter. Because you think that if people don't face immediate consequences for dumb stuff, that the world is going to come to an end. It's silly. And frankly, in any other philosophy, in any other context, scientific, philosophical, whatever, ideas are allowed to evolve. People are allowed to say, hey, this idea that we have, it's not really working. We should focus on something else. And they can grow and change. But in religion, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to grow and change in religion because what's done is done. If you disagree, you go to hell.